Good evening and welcome to the Monday, April 22nd, 2024 meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. We have been in a bit of a paperwork session here and coming out, and we'd like to start this meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody please rise? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. A couple of items, notes quick before we start. Selectman Lynch will not be with us tonight. He's got some things taken care of, health-wise, and so he won't be here tonight. And the second one is a bit of a sad note that over the weekend we got news that Bill Spencer, a former member of the Budget Committee for many years in this town, passed away. It was very, very sad. Saw him recently at elections, and it was always good to talk to him. Very fiscally minded guy, but you could talk to him and present an argument as to why something should be funded. He was always willing to listen and talk to you. I know John served with him, and I know Kevin knew him really well. I don't know if anybody else did, but
He was a good man.
yeah, he was a very good man.
Changed my mind a lot of times.
Yeah, right. So we just want to send out our thoughts to his family. He'll be missed. So, all right. First up, we have a review and approval of consent items. We have an AP manifest for April 16th, 2024 in the amount of $260,226.24. And for April 23rd, 2024, in the amount of $47,046.53. We have a payroll manifest for April 18th, 2024, in the amount of $58,283.50. And one for April 25th, 2024, in the amount of $61,692.16. We have 3 new elderly exemption approvals and 1 recertification. And we have 2 new veteran credit applications and 1 veteran recertification. We have a certificate of transfer for Brickyard. The March 2024 Treasurer's Reconciliation. We have a purchase order for a comprehensive environmental stormwater asset management grant in the amount of $25,537. And we have number 7 Century Lane Fire Proration per RSA 76:21, and the investment policy treasurer's designation form. Is there anything that anybody would like to remove or discuss before approving?
I have 2 items to add. Do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay. Items received after the agenda was prepared. I make a motion to add the following 2 items to the consent agenda. 1, purchase order issued to Municipal Pest Management in the amount of $28,665 for the town's annual mosquito control program. This is a 3% increase as adopted in the 2024 budget. The second item, the town's NHDRA report, the 2024 MS 232 report of appropriations actually voted.
Motion from Ms. Greenan for the addition of these items.
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Gannon. Any discussion? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 400. Okay. Now, motion for the approval of the consent items with the additions.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion from Ms. Greenan.
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Gannon. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 400. Requests for additional items or other business?
Oh, I do have one.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to reopen the topic around the old election trailer that was reassigned to the fire department.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Sure. Public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 PM. Under business, we have approval of the minutes for April 8th, 2024. Has everybody had a chance to look at them and have any questions, comments?
The only thought is, I thought, Steve, you were here, right? Yeah, he's in attendance in the minutes, so they have to be adjusted there. Other than that,
Okay.
I have issues as well.
Yep, what do you got, Kim?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, Roman numeral 4, the public input section.
Yep.
The last sentence, it was Susan Haley
Mm-hmm.
that came in, not Susan, is it Sarantino? So the first, her name is in there twice, so Susan Haley from 60 Pilgrim Drive came in. And then the last statement should say Ms. Haley noted.
Okay.
That's the first item. I have a couple. Sorry.
Yep, no.
On the next page, looks like item 5, business. We had 2 motions that part of the sentence was carried down to the second motion where they repeated it.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it online in the portal. The first one's correct, when we voted to approve Mr. Tucker as a full member of the planning board.
Okay.
The second one, the motion to change Ms. Plansky's status on conservation from full to alternate member is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also added approve Mr. Tucker as a full-time planning board member again. So I think they just have to, on the second motion, remove the approve Mr. Tucker for full-time member. They repeated it in both motions.
oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hand you this, Kim, for a copy that's marked up, all right?
Yep, I
Okay.
see it.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see. Page 5, third sentence from the bottom. I think we have to strike a sentence there. I'll wait for everybody to get there. It's right above H, so 2 sentences above H. It says the discussion continued.
Yeah.
So it says the discussion continued and centralized around the unfortunate outcome regarding the highway worker issue. I think we have to strike the next sentence, that the board expressed disappointment regarding the failure of the highway worker proposal on multiple levels. I think that has to be removed, but the rest stays. During the discussion, the impact tax gap, basically we were saying the wording of the article, because we had to look in the future to pay for the kind of thing was going on. So the board expresses disappointment over failure of the highway worker proposal. Unless you want to say proposal on the warrant article, because we had 4 members here that night, and 2 were for it and 2 weren't against the highway article at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it look like we were all saying we were sad it failed. We were sad it failed maybe due to the way the wording was on the article, was what we were saying.
I agree with that.
I don't think it was the board. I think I expressed my disappointment, if I remember correctly.
All right, then let's word it to that, because it said the board expressed their
Yeah,
disappointment.
I think I
Do you want to
did.
say you? All right,
I can go back and look at the tape, but I'm pretty sure it was me.
okay. That's fine,
I
as long
think
as
it
we
was
say who it
you,
is.
but I also think I said the same thing, so
Yeah,
I think the discussion was dissatisfaction, but, or disappointment.
But the way the warrant article was. Because again, 2
No.
people on this board.
No, I
was-
don't,
I spoke about
No,
disappointment.
you did,
in
okay.
it-
But
in it
again, 2
not
out of the 4
passing.
people here, 2 people voted not to have that approved
Yeah.
on it, so the board didn't
Agreed, it
consent.
wasn't the board.
Right, yeah, so that needs to look at that. All right, let me just check this one more thing. Just for clarification for me on the last, page 8, I guess. It was a long night, we were there till after 10, so that's why it was long. All right, HB 1399 on page 8. It's the sentence after that. The zoning ordinance has been updated on the website to reflect amendments passed at the town meeting, updated 2024. So is that for 2024 only?
So, yes.
Okay,
The
good.
zoning ordinance had
That
the
passed.
2024 passed language inserted.
Correct.
All right. All right, so the only other item we will probably talk about on the last page, under other, section 9.
Okay.
We need to discuss what we're gonna do about that tonight, for tomorrow's, Wednesday's meeting. This is correct, but we just have to decide what we need to do for the next meeting. So, item 9, other, okay?
Mhm.
I don't need to harp on it on public. Okay, that's all I have.
Do you want to table them? So this is a large number of,
Yeah, I
we
would
might
table
want to
this
table it so we can have a chance to go over the.
Do you want me to hand this to you? You want my draft with the markups?
sure.
Okay, I'll hand you that after. Yep.
Okay.
Since I have
Yeah,
another note
then
on-
we can bring you a clean version
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yep, perfect. All right, so we'll, everybody okay with that? Tabling the minutes for today?
Do we need a motion or just table it, just
Yeah.
take no action?
We'll take no action.
Motion?
I think we're okay, right?
Yeah, just
Really?
motion. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we table the minutes from April 8th to our next meeting for approval.
We have a motion from Mr. Weber?
John Brunel.
Oh. Because I'm
I'll
used to
second.
Steve sitting next to me for 5 years.
I will second that.
You can call me anything, but no.
I will give you these after the meeting, so they're in yellow, so you have them, all right?
Just don't call me Steve Perry.
Don't Steve. Yeah. So who did the second?
Me.
You did? We have a second from Ms. Queenan. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. All right, let's see. Up next, town clerk tax deeding. We have our town clerk right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are tax bills.
Oh, no. Hey, Kathy, you went to you. So this is the property that is located at 20 Loft Mill Drive. The resident is deceased. There is no next of kin. We've done research, we've checked we've checked with the individual that we were speaking with is the daughter of the woman that was living there. She does not, unfortunately, she does not have rights to the property at all. She tried, she went to the courts, they told her that it would be very costly for her to be able to do anything. So, this is what we're kind of, at this point, we just deed the property and go from here. Auction the property.
Yep.
So tomorrow, I don't think you want to do a deed waiver, because if we, I mean, there's nothing to waive it for. So if the board agrees, we deed the property tomorrow morning. Kim and I get together, we sit down, we contact the sheriff's office, and we move forward from here. And then, obviously, we auction the property off, and same thing that we went through with the other property that we had.
And we've known about this for a while. We've
Yes.
talked about this several times. John,
Yes,
although not as much in the loop on this.
It's just the one with the,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I think,
I think it will be handled very similar to Cortland.
yep.
yes,
And, you know, I think we were pretty happy with Paul McGinnis
yes.
group.
I think you did a great job.
And I think, you know, of course, we work with Laura Spector Morgan every step of the way. So although it's not generally a fast process
Yeah.
of auctioning it off,
Yeah.
I think we got the steps down
Yeah.
great now.
I'm not sure what happens with, I know that there's a vehicle that he had just purchased, has 20-day plates on it, that's in the garage. I'm not sure what happens with that. Paul's very experienced with these things,
Right.
the auctioneer, so we'll go from there. That, all of those funds go up to Concord, so he's very experienced with that.
Mhm.
We don't know how that works, but
Yep.
like I said, he's very experienced with that and he can deal with that part of it.
Yep.
But I just need the board's approval to deed the property and we go from there.
And we know that you've done your homework on this and done your due diligence, the town and you, Terry, and you've been very much in step with legal on this to make sure we're doing it right legally, so
Yes.
I have no problems with this. Anybody? So,
I'm not even sure if we need if you need to vote on it. If you're not gonna do a deed waiver on it, then the law says that we deed the property. If the board takes no action, then we deed the property.
I think
If I
it'd
don't
be
have
cleaner
a
if we did.
Yeah, I
sworn,
think it'd be
signed
cleaner
form.
if-
Why don't we make sure we cover all the bases, just to be safe, okay? So, we need a motion to proceed with the deeding on 20 Lockman.
I make a motion, we authorize the town clerk to deed, town tax collector, sorry, that's the mean one, right?
That's the main one. That is the main one.
I make a motion, we authorize the tax collector to deed the property at 20 Lock Mill Drive, Litchfield, New Hampshire,
For non-payment of taxes.
for non-payment of past taxes.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion from Mr. Brunel and a second from Mr. Gannon. Is there any more discussion? No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0-0. Okay?
Don't
Kim and I
go
will work
anywhere.
on- Nope, Kim and I will work on that
Yep, good luck.
tomorrow.
She has the next item as well.
Yep,
Yes.
she does. Town clerk staffing.
So, as you all know, Pat is retiring after many years.
Is it 30? It's close to 30.
What do we have, 20, full-time it's 20.
Full-time, I think it's almost 25.
25 years and total 30.
It's probably close to 30. I don't know if I
Yeah.
know that.
So
Maybe around there somewhere.
she's been a fixture in this town hall.
She has, and it's gonna be tough, cause you asked Pat, something about something that happened, who owned this property, or who did this, or who did, she can tell you.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a change, it's gonna be a huge
Yep.
change. So what I was thinking is, I think the office would do well. We have Laura and I, which are full-time. And, if we do 2 people, we've had the ad out there. We did a 20-hour, we tried to do a 32-hour. Pat was 35 hours. She does have benefits at 50%. If she chose the benefits, she has that option. I think that the office would benefit from doing 2 people at 27 hours. Which Kim and I sat down and figured out, I know you, do you
Yeah, she
have
put
this
it
on
in.
your,
Yeah.
okay, good, you do have it.
They can see it.
So it would make it easier to have someone come in. Our slower days are, a little bit slower Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So if we have someone come in, if we have these people come in Mondays, and then stagger Tuesday, Wednesday, and both on Thursday, Friday, and then give an incentive of having them, if there's a holiday that falls on the day that they work, they get paid for their holiday, whatever those hours are, and then they earn time. We've gotten one with the 32 hours. We got one application in the time that we've had it. I'm hoping that putting the earn time and the holiday in there, that will maybe bring some people in to, you know, some sort of incentive to it. But you'll see that there is a cut. It goes from what the current of the 75 down to 56. The earn time brings it from 5,846 down to 4,405. So there is definitely savings in doing it this way rather than doing it the way that it has been done.
Now, the one that you have there as part-time now has already said that she would take increased hours, correct?
Yes,
So right now, we have 35 and 20 hours, right? For a total of
Correct.
55, and we'll go to
27,
54.
27.
correct.
So 54, yeah, okay.
So part of the additional savings that you see there is because the new employee will come in at a lower rate.
Right.
So that makes significantly, but per the personnel policy, part-time employees who work less than 40 hours a week, but a rate more than a normal 26, get a holiday if it falls on the day that they would be here. And then for earned time, it's prorated
Yep.
for them, so we're hoping that that helps Terry find a suitable candidate.
Questions, thoughts?
Now, my only concern was just making sure we weren't losing in coverage, but we're losing an hour, which really doesn't make that much of a difference.
Right. And we're trying to stagger the hours with the two
Yep.
at the 27, stagger them instead of having, you know, someone sitting here 35 hours when it's a little bit slower or whatever.
Yep.
And then if they come in and they work 6 hours, it's like a 15, you know, a couple of 15 instead of a full hour, half hour, or whatever for a lunch or whatever too. So,
Yeah, this will give you the flexibility to move them around.
to move them around a little bit and use them where we need them most. I mean, we can't tell you when the bus is gonna show up and drop everybody off like they did this morning, but, hopefully, you know, we can stagger them a little bit and have the coverage. We do have a lot of people that do their registrations online now, and we know with, you know, with the new developments that are coming in, it's gonna get busier. So,
I mean, you know your department better than anybody, so my thought is that if you feel this is the thing to do and the people that are working there now are in agreement with it, we have no reason to step on your toes. So, I would be good with it.
There's no action for us to take because it's not a budget impact, so she can readjust without any issue. It's a part-time position.
It's
Use
two
budget.
part-times going to
Yeah.
two part-times.
Yeah, it's
but
just changing the hours and,
Right.
and honestly, the money that's left in the budget this year could be we made a mistake, we need to go back, and then when you do budget, you just put the money back where it belongs. It gives you some time to experiment a little bit.
But she's always come to us with any kind of changes
Exactly.
that, yeah, so, and we appreciate that.
yeah.
But there's no action for us to take, though, there's no.
I don't think so, right? No.
No.
Does everybody think, everybody okay with it? Does any
support it.
questions, Ken?
Yeah, what was
Department
the
heads
one you
coming-
advertised? What job? How many hours was the one you were advertising for?
27.
The one that we
32,
were, it was 32.
32, yeah.
It was 32, and then we tried for doing the 27, because we talked to the other person, she said she'd do the 27, but before we, you know, said anything about, you know, the 227 and the, you know, holidays and things like that, I just wanted to talk to the board and make sure that everybody was good before I go and say anything that's,
You may get more hits because
that's what I'm thinking.
most people work 40 plus another 20, let's be honest. If you're salaried, you work 60 anyway, so this might be a draw for somebody
it might
else to get a
be-
part-time job
Right.
on the side.
Right.
So hopefully that'll happen.
And it's nice when we can get people that are within the town too, because they can help out with elections and things like that too.
That would be good.
So, yeah. So,
I'm good with it.
And the, machines, the new machines
Oh, yeah?
were just approved through the state.
Yeah.
So they will be available they will be coming in and doing the training and getting us the machines, but the state will not let us use them
Until March of
until
next year, right?
the March election.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
So what do we do about the machines we have now and the problems we had last election? Suck it.
It's gonna be a
More
long
manual
night.
handguns.
Lots
we
of
deal with
coffee.
it.
I'll be
deal
there,
with
I'll
it.
help out.
We deal with it. We've dealt with it this long, and we
Adapt
just,
and overcome.
we're almost there. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. They finally approved it, and we just move forward.
Okay.
Right, Steve?
So we're in the pipeline.
We are. We're almost there. All right.
Thank
you.
Smash
All
them.
right, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Go.
There's probably some collection on them.
All right. So let's see, all right.
Veterans.
Cemetery.
Up next, acceptance of town of the Veterans, Litchfield Veterans Park. Kim, what you got?
Sit down. Yes, feel free to move as many chairs as you need.
Thank you. Welcome, gentlemen.
Tell them who you are, Bill.
Master Sergeant Dugan,
What street? Tell me that. Tell me that.
Oh, yeah,
41 Nesson Cape Drive, Litchfield.
there you go.
Bobby Jacques, 18 Lockville Drive.
Alan Cloudman, 40 Old Stage Road.
Okay, we're gonna, if we could, we pass this out here. I guess this is the formality, we have to come and give back our park, right, so to speak, to the town, so.
Thank you.
12 days from now, we'll have the reception and the ceremony over at the park on the 4th of May, so. So this is what the park's worth, $155,158 without any input from what we have done as veterans, so we did that as a labor of love, so. And I think this is, we went through this a couple of times, went through all the people. The asterisk marks are the folks that have donated their services, but you need the total value of the whole thing, so we put that down like that. And that's where we are today. We just brought over 2 trees, and we got 4 more coming tomorrow, and putting the lights up on the big tree on Thursday, so when different times of the year, it would be red, white, and blue right behind the pavilion. And just a couple more, we got more things, you'll see more things going on here with a bunch of us in the next 12 days, so. Any questions?
I would just say that kind of being along the ride with you guys for this whole project, this is a hell of an undertaking for the town. And, you know, you in particular deserve an awful amount of credit for this body. You and Mary put so many hours into this project and talking to people and going around and getting donations, and you're still doing it, and, you know, and the whole group. But you spearheaded it, and personally, I cannot thank you enough. This is gonna be something very awesome for the town for a long time to come.
Well, we hope everybody can come by and see it. It's, in fact, on the 4th, all the families who bought all those benches, you know, like I said, I think the last meeting, people flying in all over the country. I think it's important that they understand that their love for this community goes far above and beyond. And I think some of the big things that Alan was tonight, even though it was 50 degrees, he sat out there and reflected, if I could say that, because he won't say it. And to think about, you know, what this brings to the veterans is important. And Mr. Spencer, who did pass, it was also a veteran as well, you know, and a contributor to this park adventure. And we lost two of our contributors recently who have passed, you know, but their whole thing was they wanted to be part of their family, so to speak. So, and we just hope everybody uses it and they respect it and take care of it and And I think Billy Dugan said it best, you know, that we only come around one time, and we want to make the difference. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So,
You have, thank you.
yeah, we appreciate it. I hope you all can come. The
May
reception would be great.
Road reception at 9:30.
Bring your kids, you know, and just the middle school is gonna sing, and they're also gonna play, especially when they go ahead and unveil the benches. I think we try to get more and more of the youth involved in the whole process, and I think that's what it's all about, so. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You want to add anything?
Oh, I just hope that the town appreciates what we're doing for them.
Oh, I think they do.
Oh, yeah.
More than,
And
more
get,
than you'll
you
ever
know,
hear.
get the people in to be able to use it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and the public is invited.
Absolutely, yeah. We just don't know how many people are coming, you know, so.
Yeah.
We know there's about 150 people come at the reception or more.
Yeah.
And we planned for that today. We were over in Nashua buying all kinds of edibles and all that other stuff, incredibles. And
I meet people and they say, where you live? I said, Litchfield. Oh, the flags, that's beautiful.
And,
They know.
Yeah,
well, the Stone went in last week, last Friday.
beautiful.
I saw that, yeah.
And it was 5 by 5, it weighs a ton, 1 ton. And, you know, so that's not going anywhere. And they're coming back. They're so invested in our town that their whole family's gonna come back for the reception because they feel part of us, you know, and I think that's what we did. We opened up to everybody and everybody feels the same way. So when veterans say, we don't know where Veterans Park is, if they have to go pay their taxes, they're gonna see it when they go by.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, thank you.
I'd like just to say thank you to the generous donations from Continental Paving, DD Earth, Home Depot, Tim's Turf, and Faraday Electric for assisting veterans in making the veteran park.
So we do have to vote it.
Yes, we,
So,
yeah, we
yeah.
do have to vote for it.
So I'll make a motion that we, under the Hampshire RSA 3195E,
Yep.
the adoption of a donation in the amount of $155,158 from the Litchfield veterans and other entities as prepared on this statement, which is the statement we have right there. We'll just attach it to it.
So we have a motion from Mr. Brunel.
Go ahead, you make the second.
I'll make the second on that one. I'll gladly do that. So, any further discussion?
This is gonna be an asset that's gonna benefit this town for years to come. And I thank you very much from my heart anyway.
Well, you'll see it, we're also, the tree behind the pavilion will be, Thursday, we're gonna put the light, where it's red, white, and blue, so we'll put that on in certain times of the year, so.
Beautiful.
So it'll be good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 400.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
If you want,
Appreciate it.
if you want, put that with.
I have the statement.
Okay.
You wanna keep it? Yours?
Oh,
I have this one.
thank you. Gotta
In a
keep us
short
honest.
period of time, that group's done a lot of good in this.
Yeah.
They do scholarships, they have 2 scholarships for the schools, one for people that are going in the military and one for people that are going in the trades. And, you know, everyone knows they do the flags and whatnot, so, I mean, it's an unbelievable group. Glad to be a part of it. Up next, board and commission reappointments. All right. Kim, what you got?
So, we have 3, appointments, new appointments, for the zoning board, and I see that the zoning chair is here. I don't know if she wants to speak to this.
If you want me to, I will.
Come on.
Sure.
We don't bite.
Mrs. Gandia.
Hi there, my name is Laura Gandy. I've been a member of the zoning board here in town for over 20 years, I think, or something crazy like that. Just happy that we were able to get some very qualified and good group of applicants who all come from diverse backgrounds. So we have Steve Perry, George, and Zach. The board did interview them at our last meeting, and we made a recommendation to appoint Steve and George as full-time members and Zach as an alternate member. That still does not get us to full staffing. So we
Closer.
we are closer, so we can actually tell applicants that we have a full board. A lot of times, as of late, we've had a lot of applicants come and continue their case because we don't have a full board. So this will be great to move projects along in town, that we will now have a full board. So we, made our recommendation, we had it seconded, and I presented that to Kim, so we're hoping that you will do the same with the 3 applicants that are here tonight.
Who's all here?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
5 members, right?
5 members and 1 alternate. So I believe we can have up to 3 alternates. So if there are other people who are interested in serving, that would be great. And we were sad to lose John Brunel, in his new position. He was a great asset to the board when he was serving as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Jerry Sorensen too, he was a
Yes.
good one too.
Yes.
So I think probably what we should do is do the 2 full-timers and then do the part-timer,
Sure.
because they're different, they fill different roles.
Actually, the full-timers are different roles too. Well, different, one's 26, one's 27.
All right. So let's
One
do-
26
Yeah,
and
let's do them all
27.
Yes, they all
Yeah.
have different
Yeah, so
terms
let's do them separately, okay.
because they're
Good
filling.
catch there. Okay, a motion for,
Do you want to
Do you want to
Oh,
interview
yeah.
them or?
ask them questions?
Come on up, George Lavish. We know him. He's got a good shirt, suit.
Making his name,
Got great shirt.
making a reputation for himself.
May not be a good one. George Lavash, 13 Pearson Street.
Yes.
So I recently joined the Conservation Commission,
Yep.
and you've seen me at a number of meetings, and so I'm becoming more and more involved in town, and so I've read a bunch of the zoning ordinances, and I saw that the zoning board had an opening or multiple openings, so I thought I would volunteer, add 1 more night a
Yep.
month, shouldn't be too bad.
Okay.
George made the
Pretty-
mistake of retiring from work.
Pretty
Yeah,
s-
I'm now 2 years retired, I guess.
Pretty soon he'll be in the building as much as I am.
Yes.
You're busier now than when you were working.
Well, I'm doing more different things,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah, yeah. So good, yeah, we know who you are, and can't thank you enough for wanting to join on and help them out.
Sure.
We get a motion for, does anybody have any questions?
No, but he did wonderfully. He came into the planning board many times with all the facts and the zoning ordinances, so
Mhm.
he does great research.
Good enough, so take a motion to,
I'll make a motion to appoint George Lavash to the zoning board, for a term to expire March 2026.
we have a motion from Mr. Gannon,
I'll second.
a second from Ms. Greenan. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome and thank you again.
Yep, thank you.
And everybody that needs to see Terry
Oh, yeah, you gotta see Terry to sign,
To
to
get
swear in.
sworn in.
Next, we have some guy named Steve Perry.
He's new here.
Yeah, well, Journey's not on the road right now, so. But I did see him once when he had a lot more hair.
Yeah, he probably still does. Steve Perry, 5 Liston Lane. I think you know me.
Yep.
Served my time as a selectman, planning board, do the moderator thing for a little fun once in a while. I'm always here to help, so this was just the next step for me that I figured I could help out. And
Cool.
wouldn't hurt me too much in my personal life.
Very good, very good. I think we all know Steve pretty well. Does anyone have any questions for him?
Nope.
No? So.
I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion to recommend it, I'll make a motion to recommend Steve Perry as recommended by the zoning board on April 15th, for a term that expires on March 2027.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Brunel,
I'll second.
second from Ms. Queenan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 400. Thank you.
Thank you.
More to do, more to do.
Be careful of that chair over there. She's a pain.
Laura's happy back there.
And last but not least, Zach Schneider. Welcome.
Hi. Zach Schneider, 68 Natticook Avenue.
Hey.
So you don't know me. I am new around here. Not new to Litchfield, been here for 7 years. Have 2 children with my wife. And I actually currently work at Fidelity. I'm a retirement plan fiduciary officer. So I took my time after seeing there's volunteers needed to read up on the Litchfield zoning ordinances. I live in legal plan documents most days, so it was very normal, you know, maybe just a little bit of a different subject. So I was very excited to volunteer and get involved in this town. I currently coach my kids' soccers and basketballs and have been involved that way. So was just looking to help out any way I can, and I thought the zoning board would be a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah, very good.
Very good.
It's a great place to start, just be careful what happens next.
It's okay.
That's true.
It is.
I have warned him that his resume is very impressive, and
You may
we
be
can
asked to
call
fill
on
it.
him for other
It's
things.
just the beginning.
Yeah. Any questions of him?
No, that's good.
No. Entertain a motion to approve?
Good.
I'll make a motion that we recommend Zach Schneider as, can't even say this today for some reason. I make a motion that we recommend Zach Snyder to sit on the zoning board for a term that expires March 2027. All tongue twisted as an alternate member, sorry.
Good. We have a motion from Mr. Brunel.
I'll second.
And a second from Ms. Queen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Can't appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much, man.
And, you know, we have to really say thank you to Laura for her,
Yes.
her leadership over there. It has been very, very difficult for the past few years with members, so hopefully these three stick it out.
Don't chase them away.
But Laura, thank you for all your partnership with me.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, being as it's 7:14, we will open it up for public input. Are there any members of the public that would like to come forward? Seeing none, we will close public input, also at 7:14. That was quick. So, up next, we have proposed Town of Litchfield fee changes discussion. Thank you, gentlemen. Kim?
Okay, so there's just a couple changes here, and I understand Selectman Lynch isn't with us this evening, and he was looking over the building fee changes. I mean, did have a chance to speak with Jeff Blackwell while I was away. One of the results of that conversation is a change in the under 200 square feet for additions and new construction. And I believe this was one of the things that the board actually asked about, that seemed a little high with the flat fee and then a dollar amount on top of that per foot. So they discussed changing that to a flat $100 for anything under the 200 feet, and then 100 plus 25 of it on anything 200 or more. When we actually did the calculations out, it brought us a little lower than some of the surrounding towns, but not by much. You're talking, you know, maybe 185 versus $200 when you did it out on a square footage basis.
Are you on the commercial and industrial, or which one are you on?
So it would be both.
Okay.
This would be addressing that first tier.
So that's
Anything
on page-
below
on
200.
Page 3 of the fee schedule here, is that what you have there?
Yes, I didn't change it in
At
the
the
fee
bottom.
schedule itself, I just put a note down below.
So that's also residential as well as
Yes.
commercial, because I see commercial and industrial.
Both,
Okay,
so,
okay, so you should maybe put residential in there as well. You know what I
okay.
mean, just so if somebody comes in, it's not overly.
Oh, so
confusing.
the whole document will be changed? We
Yeah.
just wanted to note that this was the, change to the proposal
Yep.
that Mr. Blackwell had discussed with Mr. Lynch.
Okay. So I see $100, and then 201 to 499 is 115. and then 500 over is 200 plus 25 cents a square foot. I still don't like that.
So everything will change to the flat 100
Yep,
on anything under 200.
yep,
And 100 plus 25 cents for every foot after 200. That's,
I'd rather see it just be a flat fee, but, you know, come up with a number. But, I mean, I guess if Kevin went over it with Jeff and they're the experts in the area, then.
and they were discussing the number of inspections, things that have to be looked at,
Mhm.
depending upon the size
Yeah.
of the structure. So that's, then the other issue that the board asked me to look into, and check with the police chief
Yep.
is the car
Yes,
and going to 20.
Yep.
And the police chief and he and I reviewing the numbers, feel much better recommending the 15. The 20 will price us out of market.
Mhm.
And it's a considerable dollar amount that we can't really back into when we look at the cost of maintenance, the cost of insurance, the cost. So, we believe $15 more accurately, tongue-tied too, reflects what the town, it costs the town.
Makes sense.
it was negotiated nicely.
And I do, apologize, so Mr. Blackwell was going to be here this evening to answer any of your questions, but had a family emergency.
Oh, hope everything's okay.
So, you know, if you do have additional questions,
Mhm.
I have until Friday, which I can ask him.
Mhm.
So what's the next steps? We have to go to public hearing, right?
It is a public, these do require a public hearing. And they require that the entire fee schedule, so we'll have to considerably work on these documents, to reflect the old and the new, and those schedules must be published.
When does it become effective? Like, we have a lot of building going on right now. Are they gonna have to do a fee change? It'll be something new, right?
Once they apply for new, right?
They apply, yeah,
Any
new
new
one.
Right, it would be any new permits
Non-existent.
after the date that the board sets, and we would suggest if you were to have your public hearing
June.
in May,
Yeah.
then June 1st or something, you always go
We have two
out at
meetings
least
in May,
15
so-
days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anybody have any issues with that?
No. The department has put it together, it's based on their knowledge, so, and it addresses the budget committee's concerns that we're not collecting enough for the services we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So we can put the information together and we'll schedule a public hearing.
Okay.
Good.
Very good. Well, that was painless. Proposed Board of Selectmen bylaws is next on the agenda, and I'd actually like to move that until when we have a full board here, if everybody doesn't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem moving it, I don't think we have to vote on it, but I do think we should probably talk about the one thing to add to it, if that makes sense, just to have a little quick conversation about that.
Yeah, what do you wanna add to it?
So I had suggested, that we add in the bylaws how we treat correspondence. Meaning that it should be a requirement that if we receive correspondence, we should read it into record. So at the meeting, we should publicly acknowledge we received these 3 emails from these 3 people, and this is what they said. It can be summarized, but that's what they said, and what our response was. That's all. I mean, that's pretty much the
Yeah.
nut of it.
Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I think it's clean and
Mhm.
transparent.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy enough for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we can prepare a list for you. And, you know, whoever's going to read it into the record. I think you see the school board does it, the budget committee does it.
Yep.
ZBA, I believe, does it.
Planning
I
board does
believe.
it.
Yeah,
I
ZBA,
believe-
especially if it's something rated to a case in front of them, they'll read it.
Planning board does it, so I think it's a worthy addition.
But sticking to what John says, we're not gonna read it verbatim because it could be 3 or 4 pages.
We can
have to go
we
through
can
the
summarize
synopsis.
it. I mean, to me, the actual could be just put up, attached to the minutes, and they can be
Yeah.
part of the minutes, but
Yeah.
what we announce, it can be just
Yeah, yeah.
sort of summarizing our, maybe summarize over our response if we responded.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that.
Yeah, I'm all about transparency.
Okay.
And then the other thing which I didn't put on here, sorry, Kim,
Yeah.
is actions of non-publics. So I haven't heard for a long time any non-public that an action came out of it, right? Obviously, the nature of the non-public, some of it may not come out, but there are non-publics, like a decision to take a direction somewhere is public and it should be announced at the next meeting. Or at least added to the minutes of the last meeting where it's a capture. And I don't know if I haven't seen that, so maybe I just don't know what the non-publics, but.
Great I mean, that's a great,
Check
so,
with legal, right?
no, when I came back, so you had a non-public, your last session, and if you are making a motion or taking an action, you have to come out of non-public
Yeah.
to do that, which you did, and a motion was made, and the board approved it, and to Selectman Brunel's point, the cameras are gone,
Yep.
right? So, but those do have to be added, that motion has to be added to your minutes.
Okay.
So I let Matt know that a motion was made after the cameras, after you'd come out of non-public, and he included it in the minutes.
Okay.
I can't think back to any motions that were made in any of the non-publics prior to that I've been in.
Okay.
But we need to be conscious of that. I think quite often it's just a discussion or an update or, but he's right. It has to be included in your public minutes.
Okay.
We did that at NRPC the other night.
Yeah.
It's in the minutes like this, like you did this time?
Yes.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I did actually see another typo, but we'll wait on that.
Good point.
And I remember seeing it.
It's in yellow, I forgot to read
The actions of our last one were definitely in this meeting, so I could see those.
Yeah.
But I also wonder if we should, after the camera does go off, at the next meeting, actually announce those actions that are public, just so they're kind of out to the public, they can hear
Could
it.
do that.
Because I don't know how many folks are really going reading our minutes. And I can tell you how many people are actually watching, but you don't want to know.
Yeah, well, those actions are gonna be pretty generic in the sense where they're just
Correct.
gonna say, you're not gonna get much out of it. You're gonna know there
Correct.
was something,
Right.
what we discussed after hours, but it's not gonna be detailed.
Yeah, right. I just say it's all, and again, we want to make sure the public knows what's happening.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think we do a lot, we have activities in non-public, and it makes sense to at least capture like we did, but then also maybe announce in the next meeting. And that's up, you guys can decide if that makes sense to you all, but.
I don't have a problem with it. I think the more open we are, the better it is.
Yeah.
So,
And unfortunately, it puts more burden on Kim, because she's got to put it in the doc so we can
She
see
loves
it.
a challenge.
The only other thing, and so we'll update the bylaws to add those two things, as well as, so we did contact legal regarding the other question on if a board member is an ex officio member. And there was some discussion on this, but now we've gone back and we've actually asked legal, if they're an ex officio member, do they vote? And I talked with Representative Lascelles this morning, and interestingly enough, he had some background on this, where he said there's been a few bills that have gone to the State House that have actually limited selectmen from voting at the budget committee. because people felt it was giving the selectmen, quote unquote, two bites at the apple, and they failed. He said those, both of the pieces of legislation that he saw failed. And speaking with legal, if someone is a liaison representing the selectmen to any committee, whatever it may be, that person is there acting on behalf of the board. So, if there was an issue that the liaison might have voted one way and the board in majority, the board as an entity, voted another, that should be clearly stated, that the board voted in support of XYZ, but nothing prohibits the member from saying they were in the minority against the item. So you can state that, but you need to clearly state what the board's action was.
And
And
they
so,
usually have it when it gets to budget, they usually have our recommendations. By the
yes,
time
they
we
do.
review them.
Yes, because I've given them
Yes.
those, yeah. So,
And I usually state if I've been against something, I usually stand right up and say what I voted against.
But I think that what comes out of this advice from legal is, the counter vote is, if the board approved it here, the vote at the budget committee or any other board is in favor also.
Yes.
It's not a negative, it's a favor. That's what they're saying.
and that should be included in your bylaws, so that any selectman coming on to the selectmen understands that that's what is expected. Even if the vote doesn't necessarily agree with what you personally feel, you're there representing the board, and the board has approved it. You don't sit on said committee as a personal member.
Representing the Board of Selectmen, and the vote should carry what the Board of Selectmen voted.
Especially if
Yes.
there's been an action taken on a topic, yeah.
There's also, I attended the Right to Know training beginning of the week, and they also mentioned there's RSA, some committees by RSA require the Board of Selectmen member, I think the Conservation might have it, where the Board of Selectmen member is required to vote. And I think in, like recreation, probably not. But to be consistent, I personally think that as a representative, unless you go on something like the budget or something where there's money to be dealt with, that I don't think you should vote. You should be there as a liaison and, providing information and feedback. Because I do agree that in certain instances, you could have two bites at the apple.
Same
Well,
with planning.
And so
And same with zoning, he's on conservation as well, we have to be careful, right?
And so
George.
we brought up SIP, right? So,
I'm on SIP,
that's
yeah.
another one.
Selectman Queen and I were discussing SIP on Friday, because as a selectman, you're voting on the SIP plan that comes forth to you, and you vote on it again here at this board. So isn't that really two bites at the apple? I mean,
No matter what, if you're voting on another committee, you're getting two bites of an apple.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, I mean, that's certainly up to the board, but there's nothing that requires a selectman to vote at the SIP. Like, there's no statute that requires that.
I think it's usually up to the board, right? To the board that they're going to sit on, like the budget committee. They voted on it last year. So,
It's generally in the bylaws,
Yeah.
yep,
So what
of
do the
that
s-
board.
Do the SIP have anything in the bylaws? I'll have to look.
I do
I
think,
think it's a
yes,
voting
because,
member.
yes,
yes,
the,
it is a voting member, yeah.
in the bylaws, it does state, cause it only states Doug Taunton, myself, and Jamin Cara are non-voting members.
And budget.
Everyone else, oh, and budget, which is interesting. Because budget didn't wanna be a voting member at SIP. That's interesting.
And that's half the SIP is the school, right? School and town. So we need maybe research on that. And also with George Lavish just coming on board, he's conservation and now he's on zoning. Again, the two bites of the apple thing, right? Especially if he's, that's quasi judicial, right? So we need to be careful. So we need follow up on this.
But conservation itself has no authority. It's only advisory. So if conservation was giving something to the zoning board, it's only in an advisory capacity. Thank you.
But he would say what the conservation group voted on, if there was something they voted on.
No, he shouldn't.
That's what I mean, so we need to make
It-
sure that's
It's
clarified, because he's on
generally,
zoning
it's
now.
generally a statement that's issued from the chair. So conservation's been pretty consistent about that. And I mean, Mr. Brennan's done a fantastic job at actually writing out recommendations of the conservation capturing the conversation and the votes that evening and submitted, whether it was planning board, zoning board, whomever, submitting an actual report.
So using your example, how would you handle that?
That's what I mean, I would need to know, because we go to zoning for planning issues, or pre-planning issues, or conservation, right? So I just wanna see that also, how we're gonna handle that.
I'm not really, I
It's still-
guess because it's advisory, I'm not sure how it would be, it's the commission's vote to make the advisory, to send it along, and he's then at that point representing, he's representing himself in the zoning board, if he's
Right.
representing
He's not
himself.
represent, I just wanna make
representing
sure he's not represent, well, I think, I don't know, that's what I mean, we have to be careful. I think I need to look at that a little more. Conservation's overlapping with zoning here.
Yeah, I mean, the
It needs
reality is, that
delineation.
if he's a conservations person, he's gonna be very conservation
Right.
centric and focused,
Mhm.
and so he may be harder on the applicants, I guess, but I also know George very well, from all my dealings with George, he's very open-minded, so.
Yeah, but again, I just want to
Concerned about that.
I want to process, that's all. Where it's-
Yeah,
And the bylaws, they probably should be in the bylaws, but you're saying they vote every year on budget, what their laws are gonna be, but we just need another discussion, I think, on this.
So every committee and every commission is asked to vote new bylaws at the beginning of the year, so after March elections.
To readopt them. but-
Yeah, to make any updates, make any changes, readopt them. I think we just figured out recreation has had even a different process than all the other commissions. They adopt new members in April?
Yeah, and then I think yeah, it didn't align with all the other boards in April, and then they became official in May or something like that. It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chair Ames asked for some other bylaws of other boards to look at, and they're going to be looking at their bylaws and working on them, at an
Because they
upcoming
should go,
meeting.
like, the rest, right after
It
the
should align.
elections and appointments of boards, that's when they should probably do it.
Right, they should all align. But I think we wait, so our legal counsel, I sent that second inquiry on Friday. She's away this week. I think we wait for her to come back and maybe get some more clarity on the subject.
And again, I'm not questioning George's integrity, but these are multi-million, $10 million, $30 million projects. Conservation has some weight. So does planning, so that's why we need a separation, maybe.
Yeah, I caution us all, because we're struggling getting members. And if we start deterring members because they have a passion for conservation, but also a passion just to see the land use be done correctly, I get worried about it. Because the zoning board has been suffering from members for over 2 years.
I know, but we don't need a lawsuit against the town because somebody went against them from conservation. That's why we need it flushed out.
The other lawsuit is when we can't process the zoning, because we've had a
I agree.
delay.
I
That's
know.
another problem.
But a Band-Aid with something that's a wrong
Sure.
issue is also a problem. So. Or maybe there's a role they play, but
So what's
non-voting, I
the-
don't know.
So what's the ask? Are we asking Kim to go back to legal and see if there's a conflict or not? Or is someone doing, are you doing research? I want the fastest path forward.
Probably
because,
legal, right?
Yeah, I'd rather get, let's get a legal opinion that whether it's really an issue or not. And because I still feel like he's only a member, he's not, I don't know.
But they
Yeah,
vote.
he's one of 5.
He's one of 5, and he could be the abstainer too, or not, and not
So you
even
can have
vote on
3
it,
from
but-
conservation who are on the board, you know?
Yeah,
We need to be
Yeah, I
careful.
mean, realistically, that could happen. That could happen, I suppose.
So I think the planning board bylaws need to be looked at if it's a voting member or not for the selectmen's rep.
No,
I'm not sure what
that's
their bylaws
actually-
say.
So that's actually
So
covered,
SIP needs to look at it.
RSA 674, I believe, covers how many, on land use boards, you can have so many members that are on other committees,
That's true.
right?
I have seen that somewhere, yeah.
So, and it also covers like a selectman on the planning board, this, a budget member on conservation. Believe it's 2 that you can have on alternate boards, but I'll go back and find the RSA and I'll get a legal opinion, but that is in statute. And it came up here once before. I
And
just
then-
can't remember when.
So the town of Amherst, their planning board rep, well, the rep from the board did not vote, right?
But how big is their board? I could see
Big.
if they had like 7.
Very
And then
political,
It was, yeah, decent.
very, yeah,
Yeah.
very political board. The whole board went washed out in voting. They moved to voting for the board, planning board, instead of, appointed. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder if we did win elected, if we went elected, we can get 7 members.
I think I'm gonna put out a poll too. I'll put out a poll to the other municipal managers. Do you have a selectman's rep on planning board, budget, zoning, cause zoning asked the other day, and are, voting, yes or no, and see what I get back.
Yeah, it'd
Be interesting to know what the other towns are doing. Okay, I'll do that.
I'm not picking on conservation. They do a great job. I don't
No, but
think,
it's
oh,
a-
she's against conservation. No.
No, it's a prime example because
Not
he's
at
not
all.
residing on 2 boards, and typically when you get involved in boards, a lot of times it's because you have something that you are wrong you want to correct, or something you want to have an influence.
Or
on.
a passion influence, like you said.
Passion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
We
just want
always
to make
have-
sure people have the conscious mind to do the right thing, which I know George does, but you also got to wonder, when people get to that point, are they going to do the right thing, accuse themselves, or vote the will of the board, or...
And we've always done what conservation asked, and just want to make the process clear.
Well, and so I met with, a little bit off topic, but certainly on topic, I met with our planning assistant today, and as you know, the budget increased her hours, and so we worked out her schedule going forward, and we're gonna be documenting, kind of putting together the process of when a plan comes into town hall. Not what happens to it when it gets to the planning board, that's the planning board, but how we here as town staff weigh in and view things, and so hopefully to make it a little clearer to everyone. And I think the increased hours will definitely help us to have better communication within town hall, so. And the bylaws, we didn't expect this to be easy. Good bylaws take a lot of, different iterations to make them great, so we'll make these changes, speak to legal, and bring them back the next meeting.
Do it again next year. Little tweaks.
Hopefully it's just a re-adopt and not a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, up next, we have stormwater management update.
So we're still working
Hi, Steve.
Just do.
with comprehensive environmental on the stormwater update. The ordinance, as you know, passed at town meeting, but the planning board regulations needed to reflect those changes of the ordinance that was adopted. We've kind of been going round and round. The only reason I wanted to update the board tonight is there's a deadline on this. So we received this order of compliance from the EPA. The changes to the regulations require a public hearing at the planning board. So I'm getting a little nervous that we're getting close to the deadline. Although I do understand that our consultant met with the town engineer last Friday. There needs to be some movement sooner rather than later on this subject. And last planning board meeting didn't have a selectmen's rep, so I think if there's not gonna be a selectmen's rep at the next meeting, perhaps we want an alternate or someone to join.
What day is that? But this was a warrant article, right? Wasn't this
It was a
article?
warrant article for the ordinance,
yeah.
and now the regulations, the appendix, must reflect what was passed in the ordinance. And there's significant changes. The planning board asked for a redlined copy. We're working to get them a redlined copy. The town engineer had a number of changes. My only concern is if we come up upon that June deadline and we have not submitted approved regulations to the EPA, there could be a fine.
I think the next meeting is the 7th of May.
I don't believe a public hearing has been scheduled.
What's the
I
hard
believe they
stop
were
on
still
that?
looking at changes.
7th of May?
7th of May is the hard stop?
No, June
Well, that's
30th.
No.
June.
Oh, June 30th,
Yeah,
okay.
June 30th, yeah.
Sorry, I was just trying to multitask.
7th of May is the next planning board.
And then you need a public hearing after that, or is it the same? I don't wanna be
It
pulling
sounds like
that.
you
We
get a
don't need to
public
pull
hearing
that,
on
that's
night
too
if you guys
close.
haven't reviewed it yet.
So then you need a public hearing after that? Then does it have to come back here, or is it done?
No, it does, it's planning board regulations, they don't require.
So I remember before I left, Jay Mankara we had updated the zoning board ordinances, they're ready. Are you waiting for somebody to what are you waiting for? You're waiting for somebody to proofread something?
So we are waiting for the town engineer to
Yeah.
meet with the consultant, that happened Friday.
Mhm.
And now the planning board has asked for a redlined version, which we will get them for their next meeting. But I think there's significant questions as to what is required by the EPA, like what's the minimum
Okay.
requirement
All right.
at the EPA. And I think that's what CEI has represented. I don't think CEI has put anything in the regulations that isn't required. It's just the 2017 permit was pretty inclusive. It has a lot of depth to it.
So would that mean they'll get it on the 7th, they'll read it, review it, we would have to have a public hearing on the 21st, which would be their next meeting.
Right,
Because the deadline's the following
right.
beginning of June, which I suspect they won't be able to approve anything on the 7th because they'll just be seeing the red line. And they
Is it a
seem
lot of red line? I don't know. Is there a lot of changes?
I don't know.
Oh, it is. How big is that document?
10 pages?
Okay. It's a lot of understanding though. Would Lou comments be in there?
And
Would
there's
Karen's
new-
comments already be in it?
So Lou's Luz will be on the next, version that the planning board sees, because they just met last Friday. But we're getting close, and that was just my reason for wanting the board to know.
So Kevin should be going.
Yep.
Do you need an alternate? It's up to the board.
If,
You do?
if,
If he can't make it, yeah. we-
if for some reason he can't make it, someone should attend.
Okay.
Can I suggest that Kim Kleiner also attend? Only because of the background. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no.
But you have the
you did work
background.
with
You
the-
may be
That
able
was
to-
not my intent.
You should be there for, nobody.
Because I just think, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of questions and unless the consultant's gonna be there too. If the consultant's gonna be there, I guess it's not an issue. but-
So the consultant and I went, not last meeting, the meeting before, when, you know, and we went through everything. Last meeting I was on vacation, and unfortunately a lot of questions came up. I'm going to request that, our consultant is there for the, next meeting.
And what is their agenda look like on the 7th too? I thought they indicated some really
There's,
lot of
yeah,
stuff going on.
so there's, I believe the site plan amendment for Corning Farm.
Mhm.
There's also some talk about changing, some of the ownerships of,
Oh, from rentals to condos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I believe there's one or two other projects, so, yeah, it's a pretty hefty agenda.
Getting close.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
Yeah.
And what's the fine?
Whatever they,
More than whatever they say.
whatever they assess.
More than we wanna pay.
We'll back our way into it.
What was the word not filling in? I'm sorry.
It was, warrant Article 3, post-construction site plan. Post-construction,
Just to adhere to EPA.
right.
Okay. Because we have to adhere to what the warrant articles, we have to adhere to the past, right?
Right,
we
and
have to
it's
do it.
all, these
So
were
it's-
all changes that were accepted in the, 2017 permit. So,
Well, I'll offer to be a backup if the board wants me to, it's up to you. Only, I remembered working on the zone notices with Jay before we left, and I did see preliminary, and I was at some of the meetings with the
Yeah.
consultant. It was like emergency Friday meetings, but it's up to you, you can
You
decide
don't mind
later.
doing it.
It's up to whatever you want to
You're
do.
probably the best person to attend.
Okay, I'll put tentative here, and then we'll check.
okay,
So that's May 7th? Okay.
makes sense.
Yep.
All right.
Up next, staffing, building inspector.
Okay, so, I believe everyone knows of this. Mr. Blackwell has submitted his resignation. I think that this causes, some concern, but hopefully we can alleviate most of, the concerns. Mr. Blackwell's last day will be Friday, this coming Friday. I reached out to MRI, for a period of time. I'm not quite sure if it was after Selectman Lynch left the building department, or,
And it
you,
was when Peter passed, I
Peter-
believe.
when Peter passed.
Yep.
You had an individual, contractor from MRI, a Mr. Rowell, who worked for us. I contacted MRI to see if he would be available. He will devote time to us so that he can do the inspections and at least keep the inspections on schedule. So I received a contract from MRI. Back then, you were paying $70 per hour. It's being raised to $75. I I don't see that as an issue. I think considering that he has significant experience with Litchfield, that's probably the best way to go to keep the inspections on track, especially because you have some large projects going on right now. And Mr. Blackwell has indicated that there will be some units that may not be ready before he leaves on Friday, but may be ready next week. So we would like to enter into the contract with MRI. Mr. Rao would do no more than a couple days a week. So, you know, we'd be well under what we are paying the building inspector. Zoning, I would work with Joan and Laura Gandia. And we would make sure that zoning is assisted as far as their agendas and scheduling of their meetings and things of that sort. We will be her resource. As far as code enforcement, if there are any issues with code enforcement, I will bring them forward and we can discuss it with the board. If it's immediate, I'll contact the chair and we can handle the code enforcement that way. There are some things, health inspector, we can, in the interim, have Paul Kelly, the deputy, take over. So I think we've covered all the bases if we use MRI in the meantime. We did go through the job description. Don't really see any changes there that need to be made. We understand.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, that will be in a closed session when we're done.
Okay. I do have a posting. I would like to get the job posted as soon as possible. Even if we have all these different areas covered and a temporary employee, we do not want this to be a 10-month process to get a new inspector on board. I think we've just started to get in a rhythm of really having some results in this department. I don't want to get off track here. The one change from when Mr. Blackwell came on is the software. I don't know the software. Donna does know the software. She's been working with with Jeff a little bit more this week to understand. So I understand that he showed her how she can put in the inspections and all that. So I think we'll be able to handle it.
Yep.
So that's where we are.
Anybody have any?
So my only question is on when you put it out there, you're saying ICC certification is required to be obtained within a specified time frame, but then on the job description, it says you must currently have.
Yeah, it does, they're out of sync.
So what I'm trying to avoid is getting us into the position where we bring in somebody that doesn't have the certifications and it takes a year or two to get them. I don't know what the job market is like out there right now, how quickly we can fill this position, but obviously I would prefer that we have somebody that already holds and maintains the active certifications from their respective agencies. So there's a bit of a difference there.
I agree with
You wanna
you.
take your shoe off and throw it at me?
I would prefer someone who already has the certification.
Yep. Everybody would. We may not get them.
That's right.
You may not get
I
it.
think that's slim. I think that is very
You still gotta
slim.
get the best qualified. You had 48 people sign a petition, not happy. We can't get into that again. So we have to get as somebody as qualified as possible.
I totally agree.
Not what happened.
It's up to this board to do that, right? So-
But I also
But
think,
the description's out of sync with the job description. Posting is out of sync. That's what you're bringing up.
Yeah, Joe.
just on that one point,
Well,
Yes.
but again, once it goes out, this is kind of a quasi-contract that they, not that they accepted the job, but I would like it, we're gonna go into non-public tonight, we can go over this, because I don't wanna hold up.
I don't know. if
Publicity
we're
of
going
job.
to
Why do we go to non-public talk about job?
We're just
No,
talking
wait a
about job
minute,
description.
they're out of sync is my point. So
Yeah.
if we can, when we're in
That's public.
non-public, we can discuss if this is okay to be published as the
No,
job.
it's a public, why is
Yeah,
that
it's a public-
non-public?
It's a public document.
Yeah, it's
Because I
public.
think I need to talk about some of the things on here about the knowledge and skills and ability section that's going out of the job description that you want to send out. That's why I want to review that.
So, we can't talk about it in public, it's,
No, because I'm going to go in on past experience of dealing with a building inspector, and I want to make sure we're covered.
I think you're gonna need to
That's not
neutralize it.
public, yeah.
I think you have to neutralize your opinions and your past experience and just bring
No,
forward what
it's
you think
not
is
just me,
qualified.
it's the other 50 people who signed that petition had some concerns, and this wasn't holding up to
Well,
that.
you could also argue the 1,000 plus that voted in favor of the petition.
They
that's
didn't.
your-
it's RSA
You have that
91A3
It was a negative
to
name.
C.
So I would like to
What's that?
have, I am
RSA
requesting that
91A
I'm requesting that, and you
C.
know I've been through with this.
Covers
No
it in
way.
non-public. Yeah.
Okay,
So we can, I guess.
I mean, anything that.
I don't wanna
anything
postpone the
that
job
addresses-
posting, but I wanna make sure that this is in sync with this, and we really go over
Yep.
where things went right and where things did not. So we don't have a repeat
So,
of this town again.
I think.
And
maybe-
some things were right, I'm not saying it was all bad, some were right, but there was a
so
couple
I
of things.
think you've got a significant problem. And I'm gonna put it right out there to address it. When you have a municipal employee, doesn't matter what the job is, town administrator, finance director, building inspector, and there is action taken which compromises that position, that's public, that's out there. For anybody to consider taking that job that's already in the municipal workforce, they're going to weigh that. They are. I mean, we talk about this type of stuff as municipal employees all the time. It makes someone very uneasy about the future of their position, right? And what may be required, what may be expected, what issues there may be. So there's also a limited number of certified building inspectors out there. There's a limited number of municipal employees out there. I mean,
I
don't
agree
care
with you,
who
that's
you're
everything.
talking.
But we don't have to wait 2 years to get these things either. This can be modified.
Right.
That's what I would like to discuss tonight. There's mechanisms here that are good, but they're wide
It also
open.
comes with the basic.
Well, can I just ask
Yes.
can I ask a generic question?
Yes.
I look at the minimal requirements. Number 4 is where I think you're focused on, right?
Well, I wanna go over the document altogether, but
Okay,
go ahead.
but it.
Which
but-
one are you looking
But
at?
about the requirements, minimum requirements.
Knowledge and skill.
Which one,
It's number
which one?
4, it's
The job description?
Yep. So minimum qualifications required. It's number 4 where it says the ICC, right? Hold residential building inspector,
I must have a
resident
different
plan.
4. I'm saying something different for 4 here.
On page 4.
Page 4.
There's a lot of number 4s on this. Okay?
Page 4, under
qualifications.
minimal qualifications
Yeah,
required.
this one I like.
Because
This one is-
it sounds like our requirement is they have to hold all these certifications, and they're given 2 years to get the certified residential building plan examiner.
Where does it say 2 years?
Number
Mine
6.
says number 6.
6.
It's with it. It doesn't, I don't read it as all of them take 2 years. The expectation is they're gonna have the first 5.
Well, you'd be wrong.
Well,
Because
the way I read this
we've
is
had
it's-
ones that haven't had basic 101.
and we've had many of those. What I'm saying is,
That's a
as we're,
problem.
as we're going through candidates, based on the job description today, I'm looking for 1 through 5 as a minimum.
Yeah, and then.
And number
six-
6 is a,
six
that's
they
what,
could obtain, they have
right,
to obtain
they have to
within 2
obtain that,
years.
right.
I'm okay with that, but I want to go over 1 through 5
Okay.
because we had issues with that.
Okay, so I think if
So
we,
this should be offline discussion.
if we can get this to a point tonight,
Yes, that's
so
what I
that,
asked for.
and I can certainly change the posting in any way, shape or form, but we definitely wanna get it posted and get a jump. on
Yeah, I think.
Getting new applicants.
Agreed.
Okay,
I also think Kim makes a very good point, and if it's gonna get to where we're discussing it, personnel, then I think it should be non-public.
No, that's
So-
fine.
So
that's what I asked for. Let's do
Yep.
non-public,
And we can
not hold
always-
up the job description.
Yeah.
Let's make sure it's,
And we can talk, just say we had
Yeah.
a discussion
Yeah.
about something.
Now, with regards to Jeff's resignation, are we doing any kind of formal exit interview? Do we do exit interviews here? I mean, no.
There has been some on request usually.
Are we requesting an exit interview? I understand
They usually request it.
they would usually.
That's in the policy. I forget how it's
he
worded.
has
but-
not asked for one.
Okay.
If the board would like one, I'm sure he'd would assist, but
Does the board care why he's leaving?
Yes,
I do. I'd like to hear why he's leaving.
You always want to know.
I can make myself available, I'm sure John will make himself available if he wants to speak to some of us.
I
I
will
will
pass
stay.
that along. I think that would.
I will recuse myself.
Yes, I assumed.
As usual, I leave the room usually.
Oh,
I think maybe Kevin or I could do it too, is we're the two
You
that
hired
interviewed
him,
to
yes.
hire him and negotiated his contract. We can try to find out where it went wrong too. But yeah, if Jeff wants one, he's absolutely entitled to one.
But it seems like regardless, after Friday, we should be able to get somebody from MRI to start filling in. And Jeff doesn't have a big backlog behind him that the contractor's gonna have to come in and try to get.
Jeff's been in here every weekend since he
Yes,
gets
he
ready,
has.
and to clean up his office and get things ahead and make sure it's in a place where people can come in and go, okay, he knows what things are.
he's done a lot of work. Yes.
So,
Okay.
We need those plaques before he goes. I think they're in his office for the 6 buildings.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Acts.
Yeah, the historical designation plaques for the 6 buildings that were registered
Oh, 5,
historical.
excuse me,
Or
5,
5
sorry.
buildings in the state.
oh, they're in his office.
Yeah,
somewhere?
so there's the old town hall, the old fire station, the church, the library,
The school.
and the 30s building at Griffin, correct. So, he has some or all of them.
All right, I will ask him in the morning. I will tell you that we did get signs for the Heritage Commission. They are here. They can be changed, so the address and the date of the public hearing can be changed and they can be used over and over and over. And thank you very much to the staff at the transfer station that built frames for them to be inserted
Oh,
into.
that's why they were using the saw the other weekend. Got it.
So
Okay.
they are here.
Nice.
That's good. They spent a lot of money out of pocket, didn't they, as well, on the first sign or something?
I think they did.
Like a permanent sign, right?
No, I believe we reimbursed them.
Oh, you did? Okay,
The
good.
Staples?
Oh,
was
yeah,
like-
a few, like a year
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
Expensive,
Oh,
that
yeah.
first sign was expensive, right?
The one for Wilson's? That
The
one?
horse farm, the horse
Yeah, I
farm.
wanna say it was.
Was that the horse farm one,
The-
or was that
the-
Wilson's?
I
It
think
was
The first
Wilson's.
one was
The
up
first
by
Wilson's,
Wilson's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good, you got
I'm pretty
one
sure
that can
we
change.
reimbursed for that.
then I think it blew away.
So-
Yeah, I think it was like $100.
Yeah, I was gonna
And-
say 90 something, but.
Yeah, and so these weren't cheap,
No, I'm sure they weren't.
but they're sturdy. They're not blowing anywhere. They fit into wooden frames and they're reusable. So, but they were not cheap. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Nothing's cheap anymore.
Back to the, where's my, where'd it go? There it is.
All right. One last thing on the building inspector. Mr. Lynch has also volunteered if we need somebody to fill in while we're trying to find someone to help out in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's going through paperwork, doing inspections or whatnot. So I just wanted to pass that on to the board as well. Up next, we have request for the use of the town sign.
The Litchfield Historical Society has requested use of the sign from April 16th to the 19th. They have a program that they are working on in coordination with the Presbyterian Church. And it's a series on Robert Frost's New Hampshire. So it's a series of poems. You may have seen it advertised via social media. It looks like a wonderful event. And so they're just asking for use of the sign.
They're asking for May, right, not April.
Yeah, I would say.
Is it? Oh,
It
I'm
says
sorry,
before
May.
16 to
A little
before
late.
19. Who filled this out anyways?
I'm
Oh,
not saying.
I'll say it was my sister.
Should've- you should've said
I'm
that.
sorry, it is
The one that's
May,
not a teacher.
but I looked at the application and wrote it as the application,
Yeah,
and I'm
it says
sure they
April.
meant May,
Yeah.
because it is in May.
Today's the 22nd of April, so they would have missed it.
Yeah.
I believe the event's May. Did
I think
you
it's
see it on social
I thought
media?
it says April 26th on the application,
no.
doesn't
It
it?
also says April 26th on the application.
Yeah, date of the event, 4/26/24.
No, well, I didn't go to the last meeting. They were gonna be working on the Memorial Day parade that day. I don't know what happened.
Well,
They applied on the 12th, and it would have only given 4 days.
Would it be on the Presbyterian's website, the church's website? Sometimes they co-share.
it was, no, I saw it.
I saw it on the Historical Society's Facebook page.
Oh, was it on the
I
historical?
remember seeing something like that, yeah. Could be just imagining.
And they call you sister, right?
I just sent her a text.
There you go.
It's squared away.
Okay. Either way, I mean, I
What
just
day is
got the
16th or 19th?
application.
What day would that be in May? Is that a Saturday, what day is that?
Yeah, what day is the 26th?
May?
Well, the
I know,
22nd, the
April.
22nd is a Wednesday, so yeah, the 26th would be a Saturday.
That would make sense. And
And I know that
So
because
it's
the
coming up.
Veterans Golf is on Wednesday, 22nd.
so
16.
I don't see it on the Historical Society's page.
Okay.
So
Sharon, do you need to post that?
No, I was supposed to search. I just deleted it.
Yep.
I can't do it on my phone. and I
well,
never
we will
post,
find
so.
out.
Let me see if it's on the
If there
agenda.
is time before their event,
Yep.
I know that
Do you want to just approve it contingent on
Contingent
the
on-
May dates instead? Because if it isn't, we're already.
April
posted.
26th,
Oh.
April 26th, 6:30.
so it is April.
Yeah,
Yeah,
breaking
it says
news, the
they put it
Litchfield
here.
Historical Society.
26th is a Friday.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
right.
this
Today's-
Saturday.
Today's the 22nd.
It's this Saturday.
No,
the
26th is a Friday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the 26th is Friday, yes.
So they're
it
gonna do
is.
this on Friday?
Just says, Gail's post says, the Litchfield Historical Society and the Old White Church present routine theater stage adoption for Robert Frost's early poems, April 26th at 6:30, 255 CBH. What an opportunity.
This Friday night.
We better get it on the sign.
But isn't there already 2 or 3 other things on the signs?
Well, they had,
I think
they
they all
had the play.
expired.
They did the play, right?
Plays?
The play's
did
done.
the
The Veterans
play.
Park dedication's up there now.
The
We
ve-
can take it down for a couple days.
But then also, you want something up about.
Oh, about the Spencer as well,
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
About what?
Yeah, we
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
will do. So let's put this up and then we'll put Bill Spencer's up.
I think it's time to replace those signs with digital signs.
Now
Yeah.
I'm starting to agree with
I
you,
agree,
John.
Electronic,
This
yeah.
is,
Are you putting this at
I
the
would
dump
agree.
as
Then
well?
you can do a
I
rotating.
hate to say
Yeah.
it. The transfer station, is this sign going there too?
You can put it there.
This one?
We can put it there.
Yeah, I would put
Yeah.
it there because you get a lot of traffic there.
Okay. We'll put it there for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause
So
I
next
mean,
couple
it's a
days.
significant, you know, for us to get the letters and go out there, change it, go back 2 days later, go out there and change it.
Well, I would still do that.
Understood, sir.
Rainstorm coming?
It's a nice day out.
Tomorrow's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, she better do it tomorrow,
Yeah,
cause
'cause
Wednesday
Wednesday's
is gonna rain.
Yeah, Wednesday's gonna rain.
And the
Okay.
show's on
And then I
Friday.
think the rest-
Will do.
So do we have to do anything with
Four
that?
sides.
Just approve it? We don't have to vote on it, right? I think we
Yeah,
have
we
to.
do
A
actually.
vote to
Yeah,
approve.
On
to
the
approve
board, it
use of the
says
sign,
on.
yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve Litchfield Historical Society to use the board or the signs from April 22nd through May 19th.
No,
Uh-oh.
no. We May 22nd through the
May or April?
26th.
April.
April
It's April.
22nd through
To
the 26th. Because the show is Friday, the 26th.
Okay, so I'll make a, let me amend that.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the Litchfield Historical Society to use the signs from April 22nd
Yeah.
through April 26th
Correct.
for the Robert Frost
Program
NH
service, yeah.
program.
All right, so we have a motion from Mr. Gannon, and I'll second it. Half my family's on that. Is that a conflict?
No.
Okay, all right. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And it's what, Robert Frost NH 426 at 6:30, I'm gonna say PM at the White Church on 3A.
At the White Church. Very, very good. That was very well put, Steve.
Are you gonna benefit?
I'm not.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'll be there, but Friday night's usually bourbon night.
Do we do the additional business now, or?
Yes, we should, because we just have,
Town administrator report now.
Selectmen report. So additional business, what do we have? We have the old election trailer.
Yeah,
And
so.
Mr. Brunel, since you brought it up,
Yeah. So after our action of our last meeting where we were talking about the auctions and then reassigning some assets, the Conservation Commission brought to my attention that back in 2021, this board gave the Conservation Commission the old white election trailer for their use. So there seems to be some confusion whether they actually need it or not need it, and that the commission's actually asking for us to delay that till their meeting next month to talk about whether they actually still need it. They had been doing some prep work on it apparently, getting it ready to put their tools and stuff and to start using it for the season. And so obviously them losing it is a loss for them if they still want to need it. So
it sounds like they're gonna use it.
it sounds like it. I think the vice chair just asked to have the whole commission talk about it again, just to
Okay.
make sure. I think there was probably some conversation between maybe Kevin and Jay, and that's where the decision came that it could probably go, but I don't think it's actually been talked about.
Yeah.
So this
And I
has to
think
be a
it'd
delay.
actually be good for them, like, a lot of it's probably being driven by the go-getter George here.
Yeah.
They're starting to get a lot of tools that are just now sitting on tables, and I
Yeah.
think it'd be good to actually put it into a trailer or something that they.
Keep the old fire station a little cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'd still need something, sir.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'll just hold off on auction of any of the vehicles
Okay.
until we get this all cleared up. We were working on pictures and
Yeah.
descriptions, so we hadn't actually gotten to the auction yet.
Okay.
Well, that would have been for cert, so the other auction items could still go, right? Because the trailer was gonna be held for cert, I think the other.
And
Well,
there's another trailer.
There was a ski-mobile trailer or an ATV trailer?
Yeah.
There's the
That-
water trailer that you.
Yeah, that's an open trailer, right? Like a-
Military trailer,
That's
yeah.
a
It's
military.
a tank.
Like
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's a
a
tank.
military one, yeah.
Okay.
It's a water tank.
I think the point is maybe one of the other trailers could be used for cert
Oh.
as a temporary thing, right? Because I think they're talking about hauling, cones and block signs and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't
That may
think
be a possibility to use it temporarily anyway, maybe.
right.
We have some open trailers that they can use for that.
And the commission may decide they don't need it. They certainly could. I just think the commission had not talked about it, and I think they want.
We have to
raise
give
the
them
conversation.
first rates, yeah. I agree with that.
Okay. We will do that.
What was the other, there was one more thing, right?
Was there?
I thought there was, I thought you had 2 items.
No.
No? Does
Don't
anybody
think
else
so.
have any?
No, you did them at the beginning. Actually, it was on the version you passed out, not on the one I had.
Okay.
You already did them earlier.
I think that was all I had, right?
No, I think you wanted to, you already did it, but you wanted to talk about the bylaws again.
Oh, yeah, put it in the bylaws.
Okay.
It was already on there.
That was
Okay.
it too.
All right, so good.
Keep us all straight.
Yes, I will.
Need all the help we can get, right? At least I do. I'll speak for myself.
I do too.
All right, up next, we have town administrator report.
Okay, so, just a reminder, May 8th, town clerk offices are closed because they have mandatory training. An update on state legislation, there's the pension bill that would have reinstated the state's portion, is been sent to interim study, so we will not see that for next year. That's a disappointment. And then the 2 bills underneath it, 1647 and 1451, work in the opposite way of what we want. They both have committee hearings coming up, and they both add to our pension liability, so, those are not good news, and we're hoping, quite frankly, they don't pass. The new website, so I'm going to try, and I got John right next to me,
Okay.
if I can.
Should be able to.
Is it here?
There it is.
Can you see that? Okay, so this is what we're looking at right now. The leadership team just received this draft, last week. You can see here when you scroll down, there's some popular links here, and we haven't asked for any changes. The staff is looking at it to see what changes they want. If you go under government, you'll see all the boards and commissions, the Board of Selectmen, various town meeting data, then your town departments, and then some community, which we have a lot of this stuff that needs to be filled in. Some of that will be done by Civic Plus. We have a consultant that will have a significant amount of hours that will work on filling some of this stuff in, and then some of it will be just staff working. These are popular link buttons here. And as you can see, we haven't quite decided what we want our popular links to be yet. That's one of the items that the department heads are looking at. But it'll be really easy for someone to just click on a link and get right to the page they want. The news and the calendar, these items to the left, I want to make sure it's my left, you're right. Those are specific news items that you can click on and then read more about them. And then the calendar will have an events, so you could have community events or a meeting tab. So you can switch back and forth between the 2 calendars. Down below will actually be a listing of the meetings. So, take the 22nd, and I'm not sure if they have one in here. You can see it says, prep for reveal. That was our meeting with Civic Plus that was prepping. So when you get to an item, you can click on the day and it will take you to the calendar, which will give you much more detail. There's not a lot of information in here yet. This is just the draft of the shell. So I'll go back. And then down below, after the calendar, you see the bottom page with the site map and all the, this is all, you know, ADA accessible. Our point for showing you this part tonight was, what do you think of the just overall look? Do you think it fits with the town of Litchfield?
All right. I'm gonna make one suggestion.
Yes. Please
On
do.
the very top, right there,
Right here?
yeah. I'm gonna suggest we get a picture of one of McQuestion's tractors in the field.
At least one of the farm fields that are ours.
That are
Well,
ours. and
those
there's
are,
certain-
those are pictures that came from our
Yeah.
stuff, so I'm not
It's
sure.
not Charlie's still.
No, I don't
Charlie's
think, I don't know, I
John
think
Deere.
it's Wilson.
Yeah, it's Wilson, but they're farming for Lexington, Mass. They're not farming for
Understood,
Litchfield anymore.
but those, again.
So they
Let's
changed.
Yeah.
Put
Let
Charlie
me
in there.
see if I can.
If we're gonna have a tractor, let's put Charlie in.
So the point of that banner on top, it
I
will
don't-
change.
So
as you go
here's
through it.
another
Right.
Litchfield picture.
So these are all from photographers around town
Okay.
that submitted it.
Yep.
If someone has pictures of Charlie's farms, you know, of nice sunsets or the fields.
Then
and
they
whatnot,
need to get them to us.
submit them up and we'll put them up there.
Yeah.
We'll get you some.
And we can, you know, we can change this. One of the things we've asked for is, if you click here at the a logo in the corner, it'll take you back. Now see how this has already changed the pictures.
Yep.
The pictures will change out
Okay.
and they will rotate so that it's not always a stagnant picture. We've also asked for what do they call that, John? The rotating wheel, so that if we,
carousel,
if we needed to put where this picture is a important subject, maybe it's the
Upcoming
2025 revaluation or something, or some important town meeting is being held this Saturday. We could put it there and it would rotate throughout with the pictures.
Make it front and center, right? Even though the other things, some of the notification systems will give us bells and alert to something going on, and the other part of it, obviously the public can subscribe to different things they like, and they'll get stuff
Yeah.
pushed to their mailbox if they want. I think the agendas and meetings is a real nice add, or a
Yeah.
nice addition. And I know
You'll
it's
go right to it.
Yeah.
So you click on the agendas and meetings, and here's all your agendas. So if it's the Board of Selectmen meeting and the minutes are done, it's gonna be right there. Here's the link to the YouTube, and then you can download
Nice.
any agenda if there was one. I mean, these haven't been
Yeah, some of
populated.
them are just placeholders. Some of it's actually live data, but some of it's placeholders too,
Yeah,
How long does it retain the data for?
as long as we want it up there.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
It'll become, with Kim and the rest of the department heads, or the leaders, we're trying to get everything from the old site imported in also,
Yep.
so have the history, but also just trying to put it in a place where it actually is, still easily consumed. And to Kim's point, there's still a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah.
Because even when we get to the point where we publicly announce it, we're still gonna have a lot of back end stuff to do. We still gotta put old content up and get things cleaned up, and all the department heads have to submit and actually update their pages. So, and there's a 3-day training.
3 days.
3 days training coming up.
14th, 15th, and 16th. I actually spoke with the library director today. The library would like a page,
Oh, good.
and I'm really excited about that. And they'll come to the training and learn how to update it. But yes, we will. All the town staff will have different committees and boards assigned to them that they will update for. And they will have access to update, and it is not difficult to do once you learn it.
Yep.
It's, working with the widgets, and so it's all kind of done for you. It's just you choosing the right widget and to insert the content that you want.
So the same will hold true for like recreation stills on WordPress,
And
they'll
they're-
migrate over.
Yeah.
Come down here too, yeah.
Come over.
Yep.
Yeah. Everything in one place.
The look and feel is very common, and like they just said, it actually kind of looks like Microsoft Teams now is starting to come with that.
Yeah, it's the big icons in the middle and stuff like that. It's a design language everybody's using. Kim, if you can go to departments,
Yeah.
And just like the police department, for example, just to show the difference, because the police department and fire department want their own, a little bit of different style.
Yeah.
And so, although we didn't pay for
Police have a
the,
tractor?
no, they can't, that can't get changed, that's still there, but.
Yeah.
They have a navigation bar on the left-hand side, it's more specific to their
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
right? So it just helps them navigate their site a little bit better.
Yeah, so
That's how the
most
records go
of,
too.
even the assessing,
Yep.
so here, and then you've got all your links on the side to switch to any other department.
Oh, cool.
All of them have contacts, right? So I think that was, one of the asks, and then additional resources, and so there's a lot of information, even on the assessing page. Currently, we've realized that some of the exemptions information needs to be updated and all that. It is so easy to change a link and insert a different PDF on
Just find out
Civic
what-
Plus.
The new and correct data is
Yeah.
overwhelming at times.
Well, the nice
Yeah.
part too is, the selling feature for Kim and me was, I don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
Which is the best part.
How's that feel?
I'm waiting.
But I mean, we've had a good team working on this, and I do think that it's going to provide a nice flow for the residents, to be able to find stuff easily. I think that the design itself is appealing.
Oh, one of the photos gonna be the river. I noticed at the base you had all trees.
We did get that river shot.
Did you
We
get
did
quite
give
a
river shots.
few?
Yeah, we gave him quite a few
That's
river
just the
shots.
landmark of Litchfield, So at the bottom had like a, it wasn't, they weren't real graphics,
No,
right?
they're
Just
meant
like
to-
forest.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
and it's small. I like the content obviously more, but
Yeah, I think
The river's a
the
big
the
component.
whole reason for doing that is to kind of break the page up so it's not one big white paint.
no, I agree with
Right.
that. So those are real pictures. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
But at the bottom you had a graphic of just a forest.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know if they
is,
have a river, just asking.
that,
Yeah.
that's just a common,
Yeah, I know. It's just,
background.
I know.
A lot of times it's a silhouette of like a town area or a town common
Oh,
area.
it flipped, that changes as well?
No, it doesn't, but.
We
a lot-
could put a different,
Yeah, I think I think they were looking for something that they can turn into maybe a silhouette of the town. But we
Yeah.
don't really have a town center to have like a silhouette or,
The
Well,
old
you have
one.
what's left of it.
The old one.
yeah. I was trying to get a picture of
Old and
that
new.
with the sunset to try to get a silhouette out of it off in the field, but it didn't work out very well for me.
Your sister has one.
Yeah, with the old
She
town
has
center.
all of the old buildings there.
Yeah.
From the
Oh.
library to
Yeah,
the
before they washed away. in the flood,
library,
yeah.
all the way down to the school. I think we have.
Yeah,
if
a
we
post-
could get that,
Yeah,
that
if we
would-
can get that,
could-
maybe they can
They
convert
could
that
make
into-
a silhouette
Yeah.
out of it.
If you can get a copy of it.
And, I mean, and we'll have access to change these
Mhm.
pictures
She may charge.
internally.
Well, know
So,
they're doing
I
a
mean,
book or something,
Oh, okay.
supposed to be with the old photos. As a
But-
fundraiser.
so I wanted to just get your feedback on as much as we've gotten so far. And then we mentioned the training. Hopefully I launch at the end of May.
Do or die.
Do or die.
Does this intertwine with that red alert or whatever we're calling it now? Did it come here?
This comes with a mass notification.
come-
It comes with a map, yeah.
Where is it?
It's,
It may not be.
Probably
a-
So,
administrative.
yeah, you don't see it yet because,
But it's gonna be
people
there.
are going to have to, I'll show you. So see these, like, keep in touch, stay connected.
Mhm.
These are gonna be up there when it's first launches, and they'll click on this and it will ask them to subscribe to the different things. And it's actually gonna have directions on what do you want? Do you want emails about upcoming meetings? Okay, what boards? Do you want emails or texts or notifications on emergencies? Okay, what type? A road closure, a flood, what? You can get down into the nitty gritty of what you want and what you don't.
Even
So-
daily meetings.
They
Even the
will
daily
keep
meetings.
these up, but that you'll actually be able to
That's good.
create your own account on the website and then pick
Customize
what
it.
you want based on your account and your login. So there's gotta be some education that goes with it, but once you get, I mean, I still get notifications from my last community. Just took me a while to go in and shut them all off. So that's that. We had submitted, Pat, for an award at the VFW Hudson Memorial. It's called the Loyalty Day Award. Both Pat and I received a letter last week saying she is being honored.
Very nice.
So and down below here is the invitation. It's Friday, May 5th at 7 p.m. at the Hudson Memorial, Post 5791. And they would like to have the board thinking of attending.
Friday, May 5th?
So
I like it. Very nice.
we are very happy that
This
they.
is May 5th, 2023. May 5th is Sunday.
Yeah, May 5th's a Sunday.
Oh, that's the new letter. Okay, well, they've made a mistake.
Yeah, the 3rd is a Friday.
Yeah, because then it says RSVP
The
by
5th is a
3rd,
Sunday.
2024.
And we have that scout on the 4th, right?
Yes, we have the.
Yeah.
We have the scout.
Oh, well,
Yep,
they've
on
Scout
got a
on the
mistake.
4th, you have the dedication on the 4th, the surf training on the 4th.
You have the Kurt Schaefer Field dedication on the 4th.
I'm
It
out of
is,
town.
it must be that it's Friday,
They gotta
the
send
3rd, or
representatives.
no, or maybe
I'm out of
after,
town.
if the RSVP's on the 3rd, maybe it's the following Friday. I'll double check and I'll send out an update. They probably didn't change that May 5th, 2023 date and they didn't catch it. But it looks like they've changed everything else. So I'll verify. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, everyone's having a problem with dates, and I had someone else with 2023 and 2024 today. Second, so we did the first session of the municipal finance last Thursday night.
You did the first session.
No, well, your cable staff, I'm very thankful for them being there, and I'm very thankful for the library for allowing it. It went pretty well. I did include the presentation on the portal here, in case you wanted to look at it. Tomorrow night is the second session, at 6:30 at the library on assessments and the tax base. When I was speaking with Representative LaSalle this morning, he also told me about a Senate bill in front of his committee, which creates an adjustment for tax caps based on inflation and population. Basically what it is like having a tax cap built on like a CPI.
So
That
if
would
it's
be
higher.
huge, because right now you can only have a fixed amount or a percent. So if we could actually tie it to a municipal indicator that is adjusted up for inflation, that would be fantastic. Would be another Warren article, but so Representative LaSalle is keeping an eye on the bill, and
Good.
he sounded positive about it.
Good.
Thanks,
Rich.
Also adoption of budget cap by school.
For school districts, yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
That's. Should have
I've-
that one alone.
when we were going through the update to the tax cap last year, I received 2 phone calls from residents in other municipalities asking me tax cap questions, and I assumed they were talking about tax caps on their towns, and both of them were schools. They wanted to put tax caps on their schools, so,
They wanted to put it on?
yeah, 2 different municipalities. And then, so, oh, that's not municipal test, municipal pest. Sorry.
That thing,
Um,
easy for you to say.
Right, municipal pest management on our annual service. I have the posting here. It's also located in our lobby. And I'll be sending it to John for virtual land. But basically, it's the normal posting that we send out every year that gives the residents a contact information to contact if they do not want any services provided near any properties that they own. Again, services are only provided if there is a need that is shown that the town has to treat. This is not free mosquito treatment for, they will go out and they will test various areas of the town, especially our fields and public areas. If there was to be a problem, they would alert the town, and they do give me periodic updates. And then if they found that they needed to move outward from those areas, additional areas would be treated. So that's the public notice, and we'll get that out. There's the municipal finance, and then the last is the March, and it's very hard to read. So if anyone would like a printed version, this is the March reconciliation from the trustee of trust funds on all the expendable trusts. So if anyone would like a printed version, I'm happy to get it for them.
Can you give it to us
Everything
in a
looks-
nutshell? How we doing?
Everything looks great. You know, our trustees are very good with updating. Basically, in the expendable trust funds,
Looks like we're a billion and a
we have
half.
about $1.5 million in total. If there's any that anyone's interested in specifically, I can let them know. And then the library, the cemeteries, in total there's 103 there, most of it being the library memorial fund, or the library maintenance fund, sorry, for 63. But if you open up the document, you can,
And these are inclusive of the school trust funds too, right?
yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay. I didn't think we had a building system trust fund
No.
that the school does.
So they I think they all look healthy. I mean, the interest is right on track. They did send over January and February's, and those looked in line. We don't see any
No, looks good.
activity that hasn't been authorized, but
Good.
that's it.
That's all you got? Cool. All right. Up next is selectmen reports, but before we do that, we have a gentleman in the audience who's been sitting here all night. Do you have anything you'd like to address with us, sir?
Not really. I'm just here to watch the wheels of government turn.
A lot of flats, huh?
My wife wants to ask about the parade, but I figured we'd wait and see what happens. We were looking on the agenda, or looking for the
we passed the special events policy. We are waiting for the May fourth cert training.
Cert training on the
Cert.
4th, yeah.
Right, because we need to know how many
members.
members become certified.
Yeah.
So then we know how many members will be available for the 4th of July.
Yep.
Because we do
And that's-
not have municipal staff available.
Can I comment a little bit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Come on up, Mr. Flynn.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are and all that good stuff.
The usual, yeah.
Yeah, the usual stuff.
Corey Flint, 123 Hillcrest. As regard to that,
Yeah.
I've been feeling out, asking the other CERT team communities. I think what we're gonna do, once we have the CERT team numbers set up there, is ask for volunteers from the other teams to help cover the parade.
From
road
other
blockage.
towns?
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Are we okay to do that?
Only the fire chief could do
The
that.
fire chief is the one who can do that, right? And
Yeah.
Only the
I
fire
have
chief.
to, I have to make my request through him, but
Okay.
that was what, we had talked about that earlier.
Mhm.
So, just give you an update on,
Yep, perfect.
on what we're trying to accomplish, to
Yep.
make the impact as low as possible on town.
So, if I could add to that, I was doing some looking at a map and trying to figure out how many members we need.
Yeah, I know.
It's substantial.
Um,
So if we wanna go like, Morgan Road to Darrah Pond, which is 5 miles, there's 42 intersections.
we would like to, actually, the application, we asked all the way to Dare Pond. I think
Yeah.
we'd like to bring it back to Hillcrest to be more in line with our possible
Yeah.
labor.
To the town hall there.
Yeah, it's a town hall. I had some other ideas, whether or not, if we could get a volunteer plus a CERT team member to block a road, rather than having 2 CERT team members on the road, if we could do that.
Required, you have to be a flagger.
Right, a flagger, a CERT flagger, plus a volunteer.
Can it be a volunteer as well as a cert? That's something we should check into.
I will check
Yeah,
with the chief.
Just
that would
off,
help.
it would help, just.
So to go down the list, so Morgan Road to Sawmill Park, is 1.7 miles, there's 16 intersections. We have a lot of intersections.
We have a lot of intersections.
Sawmill Brook Park to Darrah is 3.5 miles, and there's 26. Litchfield Police Department to Darrah is 3 miles, and there's 21. And then compare that to the Memorial Day Parade, GMS to the library is 1 mile, and there's 5 intersections when you consider blocking both north and south on 3A, and then there's 2 roads in between.
Pinecrest.
Pinecrest.
And the one next to the school.
Next to the school, yeah,
Yeah.
so, which I guess is why that one's always so popular, because there's only 5 intersections to block, and it's only a mile.
But maximum, I mean, I think that Albuquerque is a better viewing point for the town.
I
With
agree.
the sidewalk and
Yep.
the availability of places to park cars and stuff.
And it's less intrusive too, compared to, I'm bringing home a camper during the weekend, you know, and getting caught up in the parade, and it's, 8 feet wide, 30 feet long, and you're
Right.
like, I can't turn on any other roads.
Exactly.
But it's really surprising that just Morgan to Darrah, that 5 miles, there's 42 intersections, which means we'd need 42 certified flaggers.
Right. We talked to, oh crap,
Doug Nichols?
no.
I'm just throwing names at you. There you go.
No, don't do that, it'll make it worse. Who do we talk to? Continental Paving.
Rich Charbonneau?
Yeah, thank you, Rick Charbonneau. And he was willing to put a couple trucks in for blocking the roads if we can, find a couple CERT volunteers to go with that, and have a driver there to move them if there was an
Yeah,
emergency.
yeah,
that came
I think
up.
that would be, someone mentioned that at one of the meetings, and I think that was, we can't just leave a truck there because
Right,
an emergency vehicle needs to get through, but if there's a driver there, yeah.
yeah. So, we're trying to
Yep, yep.
rein it in to a point where we can, like I said, have the least amount of impact on the township possible as
The
can.
big thing we'll see is at one of the meetings, we had 22 people show up, and I think the last one there was maybe 12,
Was it, no, it was, I think we were
16.
16-ish, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how many show up. Well, those would be already the flagging course, so there'd be 16.
Yeah, 16 flaggers. He said, I think, Doug said that there were 14 or 16 people signed up for the certification on the 4th. So
That's the flagging course, right?
No,
No,
the
the flag
course.
this is the CERT team training.
Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah, 2-day training.
To be certified, you have to have 20 hours of training, and then some of that was the flagger course, when we had Primex come down,
Mhm.
who attended at the fire station. I like the idea of talk to Doug about bringing in other members.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Tough thing is 4th of July, how many people are gonna be around?
Right, if we could reach out to, 4 or 5 other communities and get 10, 12 people, that would go a long ways to help them out.
And then you'll get the call to help them. One hand washes the other,
That's the way
right?
it works, right? That's how communities work.
Neighbors helping neighbors.
That's right.
It's a nice thing.
Right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
Nice. All right. Up next, we have selectmen reports. Recreation Commission, Stephen Weber.
I'm the new Steve.
Oh, I didn't see it again. Whoa.
Oh, is that John? I'm not sure.
That's you tonight.
I was waiting for the timer to go off.
John.
Was I supposed to remind you? Who's gonna remind me to remind you?
Karen.
And you're also Heritage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the rec, lots of field and facilities requests this time of year, which is, common. They had the project, senior project last weekend, was the car show with a great turnout. A couple damage reports, the slide at the park needs to be replaced. They tried to repair it multiple times. Now they're looking at getting quotes on replacing it or getting a panel from the manufacturer that we have out in Vermont and just blocking it off. And then, as I mentioned earlier, on May 4th at 1 p.m. is the Kurt Schaefer Memorial Field dedication at the Corning Road Fields. Want to jump on Heritage too?
Yep.
Heritage, unfortunately, we didn't meet last week because we didn't have a quorum.
All right. So up next, we have Kim and,
Me?
yep. And whatever you're on.
Okay, let's
Because I
see.
have planning board, capital improvement.
No, those are all different
That'll
now.
change next month.
Economic
next week.
Development Plan, Committee. We meet this Wednesday, here at the town hall. That would be April 24th. Capital Improvement Planning Committee, we meet Monday, May 6th, here at the town hall. NRPC, we did have an emergency, well, not emergency, it was kind of an emergency meeting. It was a special meeting, let's call it that, on April 17th. So our TIP Transportation Improvement Plan for 2023-26, a few items were amended because they went a little over budget, but they did have money for that. And then we actually looked at the 23 to 2050 plan, and I figure I'm gonna be 80 by then, and I really don't care about 2050, no, just joking. But I voted yes, no, just joking. So we looked at the long-term range for the metropolitan area, the whole area together, so that's what we had. We had to meet for the TIP amendment, and it did pass.
All right, up next, we have John Brunel and your committee.
So,
I'm writing them
yeah,
down. now, just in case.
Energy didn't meet because they canceled due to no agenda. And then the conservation has not met since last month, so it'll be coming up in May. So nothing to report. I'm resistant to going and changing it for you.
And Budget Committee meets on Thursday night.
I'll copy it when I get back.
And the not capital improvement, Facilities Committee, we've met twice. We met 2 weeks in a row, and we meet actually again Wednesday. My first impressions of the committee is that it is bent on presenting another new school, because that seems to keep coming up. What are we gonna do? When talking about vetting all other items, and then, but the new school keeps coming up. And it was even stated at the last meeting that even after the massive turnout and defeat, that it's not necessarily the end of a new school. And I find that disheartening, because I think people spoke in overwhelming numbers. And I think if it continues on this committee, on this way, I don't see their point being for us to be there.
There's a lot of members on that too, right?
There is a lot, there is definitely a lot. We did a tour of GMS, and there's things that need to be fixed, but there are things that can be fixed. There's nothing in that school that can't be fixed. And I think we have to this committee should turn its attention to what the voters said, not trying to dissect it and you know, well, they didn't want a $50 million school, maybe they want a $30 million school. No, the voters said no to a new school, period. And it was also brought up that, the town hall didn't pass on the first pass, and it didn't. But thanks to some help, I was able to get the numbers, and when it was presented back then, we needed a 66% to get this town hall passed. It failed 66% by 13 votes. All right. It didn't pass by, 60% by almost 500 votes. It was 13 votes that stopped this from getting it on the first run. So comparing the two is not right, I don't think, because it's a completely different. The outcomes were completely different. If it had been a close vote, maybe. I know the school before only failed by maybe a couple hundred votes, but now it's all, it's doubled, almost tripled what it failed by the time before. And I think, and I'm trying to remember, and Karen, you've been around town for a while, I know there's been at least 3 presentations of the school, new school, maybe 4. I think there was one before Campbell, but I can't remember for sure. But it's never been passed, so it's time to decide let's fix what we have, okay, and move it forward. Right?
Yeah, I just remember the elementary.
Yeah.
Not passing, I thought that was 2 or 3 times, like between
Yeah.
06 and 08.
Yeah, that's what I remember too.
Hmm.
It's time, and it's kind of sad, because I think there's a denialist attitude amongst a lot of people that they're just not accepting the vote of the people. You have to accept the vote of the people. We had things that didn't pass. We're accepting them. We're going to figure out what to do now. All right, we're not going to try to figure out, well, maybe they didn't want a Tahoe for a cruiser. Maybe they want an Explorer. No, they didn't want to spend the money on a cruiser. Accept the will of the voters, because that's what the boards and committees are supposed to do. So that's just my first, after meeting twice, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm sure I'll catch y'all Wednesday, but that's okay. I have big shoulders, it runs off. Also, Mr. Cutter has backed away from the facilities committee because he's got a lot on his plate, and Mr. Polanski's filling in from the school now. But it's a kind of a very good mix of people. I just think that I think the direction is kind of wrong. So, personal opinion. Okay. Other than that, I have nothing else. Does anybody have anything else before we go into non-public? Yes, you do, right?
The NRPC has their annual forum.
Okay.
It's coming up, so if you're on any board in town, I believe you can go if you'd like, especially planning and zoning. So May 3rd, you have to register by May 3rd. It is on Wednesday, May 8th at 5:30 p.m. It's at La Belle Winery. So the topic will be water supply protection and conservation. So hopefully you all had an invite. It should have gone to the board. Okay? So just click on it if you'd like to go. It's free.
Cool.
I bet you get to hear about the speakers. I think DES is coming in, and kind of Chuck Water.
Great topic.
Yeah.
Not sure who the 3rd speaker is yet.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if they finalized one.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to discuss? Public before we go to non-public? Okay. Seeing that, the public portion of this program will conclude. We do have some non-public items under RSA 91-A (3), 2, A in parentheses, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigation of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected, one, has a right to a public meeting, and two, requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. And RSA 91-A semicolon 3, comma 2, C in parentheses, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. The exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver or fee, fine, or other levy, if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. And RSA 91-A semicolon 3, comma 2D in parentheses, consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property, which, if discussed in public, would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public
We have a motion
for
from Mr.
the
Gannon,
RSA's mentioned above.
Second.
and a second from Mr. Brunel. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 400. We're going into non-public at 8:58 PM. Everyone have a wonderful night. Be safe. We'll see you soon.
Oh, do I need to sign anything in there?
I
didn't sign anything at all.
You didn't sign anything?
No.
John has to sign.